below where they should be on his face, almost halfway down his shoes. They slant downwards in an extreme angle, almost like diagonal stilts someone cut into his face, and the left one is noticeably lower than the right one. They bulge outward because his eyes cavities are too shallow to accommodate them. Top eyelids are always halfway closed, like he's on the verge of sleeping. The lower eyelids sag so much that they look like an invisible piece of string is pulling them downwards. You can see the red part on the inside, like they are almost inside out. He doesn't have eyebrows or eyelashes. His nose is definitely too big for his face, and kind of fleshy. His head is pinched in on the sides where the ears should be, like someone used giant pillars to crush the middle part of his face. He doesn't have cheekbones. There are deep creases running down both sides of his nose to his mouth, which give him a waxy appearance. Sometimes people amused he'd been urine in a fire. His features look like they've been melted, like the drippings on the side of a candle. Several surgeries to correct his lips to have a few scars around his mouth. The most noticeable one, a gash running down the middle of his upper lips to his nose. His upper teeth are small and splay out. He has severe overbite and extremely undersized jawbone. He was very small thin. When he was little, before a piece of hip bone or surgical implanted into his lower jaw, he had really no chin at all. His tongue would just hang out of his mouth like nothing underneath to block it. Thankfully, it's better now. He can eat at least. While he was younger, he had a feeding tube and he could talk. And he's learned to keep his tongue inside his mouth, though that took him several years to master. He's also learned to control the drool that runs down his neck. These are considered miracles. When he was a baby, the doctor didn't think he would live. He can hear too. Most kids are born with these type of birth defect problems with their middle ears can prevent them from hearing. But so far, August can hear well, though in his tiny cauliflower-shaped ears. The doctor thinks that eventually he'll need hearing aids, though August hates the thought of this. We think hearing aids will get noticed too much. I don't tell him that the hearing aid would be the least of his problems. Of course, because I'm sure he knows it. But then, I'm not really sure August knows or doesn't know. He understands and doesn't understand. Does August see how other people see him, or has he gotten so good at pretending not to see that it bothers him, or does it bother him when he looks in the mirror? Does he see Augie, mom, or does he see the Augie everyone else sees? Or there's an August he sees, someone in his dreams behind the misshapen head and face? Sometimes when I look at Grants, I could see the pretty girl she used to be under those wrinkles. I could see the girls from inside the old lady wall. Does August see himself as he might have looked without a single gene that caused him his categorical face? I wish I could ask him this stuff. I wish he would tell me how he feels. He used to be easier to read before surgeries. He knew that when his eyes squinted, he was happy. When his mouth went straight, he was being mischievous. When his chin crumbled, he was about to cry. He looks better now, no doubt about that. The design we used to gauge his moods are all gone. There are new ones, of course. Mom and Dad can read every single one, but I am having trouble keeping up. And there's a part of me that doesn't want to keep trying. Why can't I just be his... say what he's feeling like everyone else. He doesn't have a taste tube in his mouth anymore that keeps him from talking. His jaws are not wired shut. He's 10 years old. He can use his words, but we circle around him like the baby he used to be. We change plans, go to plan B, interrupt conversation, go back on promises depending on his mood, his whims, his needs. That was fine when he was little. But he needs to grow up now. I think we all spent much time trying to make him he thinks normal. And the problem is he's not. What I always loved most about middle school was that it was separate and different from home. I could go and be Oliver Pullman, not Via, which was my name at home. Via was what they called me in elementary school too. Back then, everyone knew all about us, of course. My mom used to pick me up after school and August always in the stroller. There weren't a lot of people who were equipped to babysit for Augie, so my mom and dad brought him to all my class plays and concerts and recitals and school functions, the bake sales and the book fairs. My friends knew him. My friends' parents knew him. My teacher knew him. The janitor knew him. Hey, how you doing, Augie? He always say and give August the 5-5. August was doing something of a figure at PS22. When in the middle of a lot of people didn't know about August. My old friends did, of course, but my new friends didn't. Or if they knew, it wasn't necessarily the first thing they knew about me. Maybe it was the second or third thing they knew about me. Olivia? Yeah, she's nice. Did you hear she has a brother who's deformed? I always hate that word, but I knew it, how people describe Augie. And I knew those kind of people who describe Augie. I knew those kind of conversation happens all the time out of earshot. Every time I left the room at a party or bumped into groups of friends at the pizza place, that's okay. I'm always going to be the sister of a kid who birth defect. That's not the issue. I just don't want everyone to be defined that way. The best thing about high school is that hardly anybody knows me at all. Except Marinda and Ellen, of course. They know not to go around talking about it. Marinda and Ella and I have known each other since first grade. What's so nice is we have to explain things to one another. When I decided I wanted them to call me Olivia instead of Via, they got it without having to explain. When they've known August since he was a little baby, our favorite thing to do was play dressed up with Augie, load up with feather bows and big hats and Hannah Montana wings. We used to love it, of course, and though he was adorably cute in his own way, Ella said he reminded her of E.T., but she didn't say this to me mean, of course. But maybe it was a bit mean, but the truth is there's a scene in the movie where Brent Meyer dresses in E.T. a blonde wig, and that was the winner for Augie and our mild, crazy Haley. Though around middle school, Marina and Ella and I were pretty much of our own group. Somewhere between super popular and well-liked. Not pretty, not jocks, not butch, not druggies. Not mean, not goody, not huge, not flat. I know if the three of us found each other because we were so alike in so many ways, or because we found each other, we become so alike in many ways. We were so happy when we all got into Faulkner High School. It was just a long shot that all three of us would be accepted, especially when no one from especially when almost no one from our middle school was. I remember how we screamed into our phones the day we got our acceptance letters. This is why I haven't understood what's been going on with us lately. Now that we actually are in high school, it's like nothing how I thought it would be. Mayor Torn. Mayor Todd. Out of the three of us, Marina has always been after the sweetest after the August. Hugging him and playing with him long after Ella and I have moved on to playing after something else. Even as we got older, Marina always tried to include August in our conversations. Ask him how he was doing, talk to him about it was Marina who had given Augie the astronaut helmet he particularly wore every day of the year when he was 5 or 6. Where she would call him Mayor Tom and we would sing in Space Oddity by Dream Bowie together. It was like a little thing. They knew all the words and would blast it on the iPod and sing the song out loud. Since Marina is always really good at calling us as soon as she got home from summer camp, I was a little surprised when I didn't hear from her. I even texted her and she didn't reply. And I figured that she ended up staying in the camp longer and that she was a counselor. Maybe he met a cute guy. Then I realized from her Facebook, well, she's actually been at home for a full 2 weeks. I sent her an image, and we chatted on the line a bit, but she didn't give me a reason for not calling, and which I thought was bizarre. Marina has always been the person a little flaky, so I figured that's all it was. We made our plans to meet downtown, then I had canceled because we were driving to visit Tata and Papa for the weekend. So I ended up not seeing Marina and Ella until the first day of school. And I have to admit I was shocked. Marina looked so different. Her hair was this cute super bob that she dyed dark pink. Of all things, she was wearing a striped tube that seemed inappropriate for school and was totally not her usual style. Marina has always been such a prude about clothes, and she was all pink-haired and the tube top. But it wasn't just the way she looked was different. She was acting differently too. I can't say she was nice because she was, but she seemed kind of distant. Like I was a casual friend. But the weirdest thing in the world, at lunchtime, the three of us sat together like we always would. But the dynamics have shifted. It was obviously to me and Ella. Marina had gotten together a few times during the summer without me, though they actually never said that. I pretended not to be all upset while we talked, though I could feel my face getting hot, my smile being fake. Although Ella wasn't as over the top as Marina, I noticed a change in her usual style too. It's like they had to talk to each other beforehand before we were doing the image at the school, but it hasn't bothered me. And I admit, I had always thought I was this kind of typical teenage prettiness, but I felt lumped in my throat throughout lunch. My voice quivered as I said, "See you later," when the bell rang. I hear we're driving you home today. It was Marina in 8th period. She had just sat down at the desk right behind me. I had forgotten that Mom had just called Marina's mom the last night and if she could drive me home from school. "You don't have to," I answered casually. "My mom can pick me up." I thought she had to pick Augie up or something. Turns out she could pick me up afterwards. She just texted me. "Not a problem." "Oh, okay, thanks." It was all a lie on my part, but I could see sitting in a car with the new Marina. After school, I ducked into a restroom to avoid bumping into Marina's mother outside. Half an hour later, I walked out of school, ran the 3 blocks to the bus stop, hopped on M86 to Central Park West, and took the subway home. "Hey there, sweetie," Mom said the moment I stepped through the front door. "How was your first day? I was starting to wonder where you guys were." We stopped for pizza. Incredibly how easy a nice can fit under your lips. Is Miranda not with you? She seemed surprised that Miranda was right behind me. She went straight home. We have a lot of homework. On your first day? Yes, on our first day, I yelled, which is completely surprised Mom. But before she could say anything else, I said school was fine. It's really big though. The kids are nice. I want to give her information so she wouldn't feel need to ask me anymore. How's how's your day, Augie? My mom hesitated, her eyebrows still high on her forehead when I snapped around her a second earlier. Okay, she said slowly, like she was letting out a breath. What do you mean, okay? I said, was it good or bad? He said it was good. So why don't you think it was good? I didn't say it wasn't good, jeez. Thea, what's up with you? Before I asked anything at all, I answered. Stormed dramatically into Augie's room and slammed the door. He was on his PlayStation and didn't even look up. I hated how zombie-fied his zombie video games made him. So how was school? I said, scooching Daisy over so I could sit in the bed next to him. Fine, he answered, still not looking up from his game. Augie, I'm talking to you. I pulled the PlayStation out of his hand. Hey, he said angrily, how was school? I said fine, he yelled back, grabbing the PlayStation back from me. Were the kids nice to you? No one was mean. He put the PlayStation down and looked at me as if I asked the dumbest question in the world. Why would people be mean? He said the first time I heard him be sarcastic like that. I didn't think that he had it in him. This is the end of this video. Bye.